Also joining us for the whole show is Philip Ingram. I'm delighted to say he's a former senior military intelligence officer. Good morning once again to you. Great to see you. Lots and lots and lots to talk about, as always.
What, there's something going on around the world?
Well, yeah, there's quite... I always like it when I go, who's it? Oh, good, it's Philip, because there's quite a lot going on in international affairs. I mean, the likes of, Vladimir Putin popping up in Beijing with Xi Jinping. No axis of evil. Nothing to see here, everybody. European prime ministers getting shot. Small matters.
Normal sorts of things, yeah.
These sort of things in no way started First World Wars at all, ever in the past, so
no,
that's fine.
There's no one on a bridge in Sarajevo at the moment, so we're safe. OK,
we're making light of it. We'll get to it in a very few moments. But are we in danger of making too much light of Keir Starmer's 6 pledges? He has launched his... what he calls my first steps for change. And I know Mike's just been talking about this as well, but it is absolutely fascinating because, look, we're old enough and ugly enough, are we not, Philip Ingram? I think having Alicia on the show yesterday saying, I had to look up what a milk monitor was, which is something Keir Starmer said. How do you not know what a milk monitor is? He used to hand out the milk, right?
Yes.
We're old enough to remember, of course, the 1997 election when Tony Blair and Gordon Brown launched their 5 pledges on a pledge card. Famously, John Prescott had it in his top pocket of his jacket, and they came out all the time. And basically, the old rule is, you've got to keep it simple, very, very, very clear messages. Now, there's no doubt at all that, they were very, very, very clear messages. Although, talking to pollsters, they say, actually, it didn't change the polling at all. It was just about getting the message across. Well, Keir Starmer is copying this. My first steps for change is what the pledge card says. Labour a bit cross. You're not allowed to call it a pledge card. It's a card with pledges
with pledges.
on it.
Not a pledge card.
I mean, this is new Labour territory.
Angela Rayner's had the actual physical card out this morning.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we're going to see more of it. OK, now there were 5 pledges that were announced earlier the year, because we, in contrast to Sunak's 5 pledges, stop the boats, etc., etc. There's a bit of a theme here, guys. But he's added a 6th one, which is about, well, sort of vaguely tackling illegal migration. But my first steps for change from a very sort of military, upright-looking Keir Starmer, who, by the way, does not look like that in real life because he's put a lot more timber on that. I mean, I'm sorry, but that is a man who's holding his tummy in, and there's been a bit of photoshopping going on, if you ask me. Anyway, these are the 6 pledges: deliver economic stability, cut NHS waiting times, launch a new border security command, set up Great British Energy, crack down on antisocial behaviour, recruit 6,500 new teachers. Now, the interesting one is that it's only the 6th one. A specific number of teachers that actually is, something specific. Otherwise, they're a bit vague, aren't they, Philip? Deliver economic stability. I mean, he talked about economic growth a few months ago. Now we're not even going for growth. We're just going to go for stability. I mean, it's hardly sort of game-changing, groundbreaking stuff.
Well, yes, and I'm a planner, and I look at these and I say, these are aspirations, what you want to do. There's no how in there. I put my 6 pledges out this morning.
These are much better.
And it's win the lottery three times in a row, deliver world peace, buy a big yacht, eradicate all cancer, lock up litter louts, and have a private space station. They've got about as much substance as Keir Starmer's, because
free chocolate for all I'd have added in there. But other than that, totally, I'm saying vote Philip Ingram.
Yeah, the other thing is 2 of his 6 pledges are England only. There will be
separate pledges, as there were in '97 actually, and 2001 for Scotland. We understand Scotland and Wales.
Yeah, and then Northern Ireland has to come into as well. But he's all through Prime Minister's question time. I was watching this over the last Parliament. He's only ever talked about things outside England 2 or 3 times, so he has to be really careful. He's either Prime Minister for England or Prime Minister for the whole of the United Kingdom.
Puts people off, doesn't it?
It puts people off.
But I mean, for me, the key difference here for me is you look at what are the things that are missing. Well, nothing about housing. I genuinely. No one talks about housing. I mean, the Tories don't talk about housing. You've got to build more houses. We need like 1 million new houses tomorrow, OK? I don't want the government to be building them. I just want more and affordable. And I don't want them to be deluxe apartments in Mayfair that foreign investors can buy. What we want is people to be, we just want really, really, really simple stuff. We just want homes that people want to live in to raise their families. This is absolutely crucial to our economy. You cannot boost the economy. You cannot ensure that people can have as many children as they want, or children at all, if they can't afford to buy a home. People can't move. A huge number of jobs would be created by that as well. Get the economy going. I mean, if you're not doing that, If you're not doing that, you're not serious about the economy, as far as I'm concerned. Defence. We are facing a huge threat to our security. Defence has got to be in there as well. But I think what's also really noticeable is how the lack of specifics. I mean, you go back to Tony Blair's pledge card in '97. Cut class sizes to 30 or under for 5, 6 and 7-year-olds. Cut NHS waiting lists by treating an extra 100,000 patients. Oh, do you remember a time when NHS waiting lists, the issue was about hundreds of thousands rather than 8 million patients on waiting lists? Get 250,000 under 25-year-olds off benefits and into work. Also, no rise in income taxes, cut VAT on heating to 5%, and then vague bond and inflation and interest rates as low as possible. Again, vague. Now, this is the thing. People want specifics. What are you going to do? How are you going to do it? When are you going to do it by? And how much is it going to cost me? Because it's going to cost us something. Do you think that this delivers that? Or are we in Edstone territory, remembering 2015 and Ed Miliband, who's now in the shadow cabinet and will be in the cabinet terrifyingly. But his Edstone in 2015, which was just basically looked like a cemetery stone. I mean, it was just awful. And again, a load of completely mad, vague pledges.
We're in a period of soundbite politics. You have no substance whatsoever. Because to deliver all of that, you're 100% right, it's going to cost money. Where's that money going to come from? And if you're going to get that money, you either have to borrow more, which is going to impact the economy, or you're going to have to cut something. He's not saying that, and that's why he's not coming out with a plan, so that people can't turn around and work out what he's then going to cut and criticise him for it. And this is where,
well, it's better than stop the boats and then not stopping the boats, which Rishi Sunak has done.
Yeah, but the choice between the two major political parties at the minute is shockingly bad, and I think your piece in The Sun this morning sums it up.
I'll get him. I did not tell him to do that, I'd like to say.
It sums it up really well indeed.
I basically likened him. If you haven't read it, you should. You can link to it from my Twitter feed. But it's basically about how getting married. And voting for politicians are quite similar, because people make promises, till death us do part, or are they going to keep those pledges? Will I deliver a cut in immigration, a cutting of waiting lists, and how much trust do we give someone? Say you've got an erring husband, not my husband's going, you're talking about me, I've never a straying husband, how much, no, if you could just trust me this one last time, I promise I'll change.
But the trouble is the alternative is the husband that someone else has just got rid of a few years ago, and people have forgotten and have come into the new village and don't realise what the past is.
I feel we've got a wonderful little insight into Philip Ingram's life there. I don't know. Now, listen, I want to hear from you. This is the crucial thing. So, Labour leader Keir Starmer is launching a pledge card today. We've got Rachel Reeves and Angela Rayne and everyone else standing with him at this launch in Essex today. Again, we were told there would be some surprise interesting person appearing. I mean, I assume it was going to be some sort of celebrity endorsement. By the way, that never works, but apparently they're not going to be there. The surprise guest is Keir Starmer, I think. But I want to know, as he's making 6 promises to voters, and we've had those 5 pledges already from Rishi Sunak, what's going to be on his pledge card, we don't know. I want to know, what pledges would win your vote? And why? Maybe no pledges would win your vote because you don't trust any of them. I'd love to hear from you if you want to say that as well. But get in touch.